There'll be a spectrum like this.
So, living with multiple inner persons, among the vast array of things of what that means, part of it is when I look back at memories. And this could be someone mentioning something we experienced, or us having a vague recollection and then trying to remember more specifics, or looking at pictures or watching videos from an experience. It could be anything. It could be hiking alone or walking with friends or sitting and recording a teaching video or a video blog or literally anything. It could be any kind of experience. When I'm engaging in that, the ability for me to recognize that as me is often not there. Sometimes it is, and there's like this very deep connection of that was me and that was my experience, and I recognize myself and I feel a connection with who that is and what she was experiencing. And then other times, like today, there isn't that connection. I can look at this and I feel this very strange anxiety because a part of my brain knows logically that that is my body. A part of my brain understands that logically that place is familiar. And yet it doesn't feel like me. It doesn't sound like me. The way that she speaks isn't like me. Both like with word selection and with like tone of voice. And the thing she's talking about doesn't sound like something I would talk about. And I don't feel a familiarity with the experience of seeing her experience. And I don't have a memory of that experience. At best, there's maybe a couple fragments where I remember individual sensations that lasted, a moment in like an expansive period of time. Like these videos are from like an hour and a half. And so far we're like 40 minutes, 30 minutes in, and I remembered one moment, one singular 2-second moment. And that's the only thing that I felt connection with. And that was because there was a switch in the video and a shift in my consciousness while watching. The child part. And so part of living with multiple inner persons is that there's this evidence of being multiple in these like very irrefutable ways. Like I can find so many different ways to explain so many different things. Like, okay, I'm shifting and my nervous system engagement has shifted and my memory access has shifted and my emotional state has shifted, so I feel a bit different than I did. Like there's all these little things that we've like kind of tried to be like, what does it actually mean to live with multiple inner persons, and what's the science of it, and can it be possible to live with multiple inner persons, and like all these different things to try and understand ourselves and validate ourselves from all different perspectives, because we have all different perspectives in us, including the skeptic and the critic, and and so we've been exploring this, and there's this aspect is just like more proof for us, where there's no other way around this. There's no other explanation. Like, we weren't on drugs, we weren't unconscious, we weren't, and like now we're not on drugs, we're not unconscious, we're not having some trip, we're not having some very strange neurological episode. Like, there's nothing else that can explain this. And it's only when I can validate that that's not me can I feel a little bit less anxiety, because my body's like, okay, that sounds more true. the body otherwise. It's like, we were trying to wrap our heads around how this could be us when we don't feel a connection with her. There's no familiarity. There's no recognition. There's no memory of the experience. There's no nothing. But now you're telling us it's not us, so that feels a lot more accurate. And it's like sensations in our physical body. And so this is just like another aspect of description of what it means to live with a dissociative identity, or what it means to live in a multi-conscious mosaic mind, whatever phrasing you prefer, is that my ability to recognize myself from past experiences and in the present moment, and my ability to feel a connection with memories of experiences, or feel connected with my present experience, it's all very state dependent, and it's never guaranteed, and there's rarely, if anything, or rarely, if ever, anything I can do about it. Like, it's not like I can just say, okay, I'm in a changed state so that I can recognize myself now. Like, that's not how this works. And so understanding what it means, that this ability for self-recognition on all these platforms, my ability to recognize my vocal speaking style and my verbal speaking style, my physical and my mental aspects of speaking, my ability to recognize the type of topic and engagement that I am sharing, my ability to recognize the experience, my ability to, all these different things, it comes and goes, and it's never, ever, 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 ever guaranteed. And there's no point in fighting that. There's no point in trying to deny that or work against it or find a way around it. It simply is. And it's because there's multiple persons inside of me, and that was someone else's experience. And then there's also this trippy variable about experiences not being fully processed in the first place, or not being able to be recalled in the present due to dissociative engagement of the brain-body system. Like, if I'm dissociated right now, I might not be able to access memories that were processed. And likewise, if I was fully lucid, I might not be able to access memories if they were processed during dissociation. And so there's like this double whammy of, I have to be fully lucid and be accessing memories that were processed during a fully lucid state for the memory to fully be there. Dissociation on either end will distort the memory access and or processing. And processing, actually. Because even my ability to recall tonight and everything is probably going to be processed fragmentally because I've been dissociated. And so, just recognizing that that's my version of normal is important, because the more I try to fight against it, the more suffering there is, the more pain and fear there are. And I don't want to be afraid of myself. And so, oh yeah, I've been feeling like there's some like dark entity around, and some of us are really spiritual, and so we're like, we need to do some kind of casting of the dark side. Maybe we could do an energy clearing, but I'm now wondering if it's part of my brain that spikes when there's paranoia or depersonalization. Like, if I'm feeling detached from my body in a neurophysiological way, that could explain this really anxiety-provoking sensation, potentially. I don't like to think that there could be some dark entity in my room that I can't see. That's creepy. I don't want to think that. Ew. That doesn't feel good. That's an icky perception. That doesn't feel good. It could just be my neurobiology playing tricks on me. neurobiology. Keep on playing tricks on me. The fuzzy aspects of my sense of self make me feel like I'm someone else. What's going on? This brain feels mad. It makes me feel lonely and kind of sad. Anyway, I just wanted to share that. Self-recognition, memory, processing, and recollection. The ability to feel a sense of familiarity with who I am, both in past things, like we were saying, videos, pictures, whatnot, with things people are telling us that we did or saw or experienced or felt or shared or said or whatever. Self-familiarity in the present, it's all very distorted with dissociation, and part of living with dissociative identity is chronic dissociation. Part of living with adaptable consciousness condition is chronic dissociation. So yeah,